So this is going to be our first React lecture. Here we will first see what an high level architecture of any application looks like. ठीक है, शब्द थोड़े से भारी भारी आहेत but still high level architecture of any web application. ठीक आहे, तर इथे हा, तर इथे काय होणार आहे, तुमचं जे वेब ॲप्लिकेशन आहे कुठलंही, लेटेस्ट से नेटफ्लिक्स, लेटेस्ट से इंस्टाग्राम, लेटेस्ट से फेसबुक, लेटेस्ट से एनी अदर ॲप्लिकेशन, वेब ॲप्लिकेशन, त्याचं एक बेसिक आर्किटेक्चर काय असतं, आर्किटेक्चर म्हणजे त्याचं कसं ते अरेंज केलेलं असतं नाही का. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हॅव अ क्लायंट. क्लायंट म्हणजे अशी मशीन जी आपण यूज करतो ॲज अ युजर. ठीक आहे, सो दिस इज क्लायंट. ठीक आहे, नेक्स्ट ऑन वी हॅव सर्व्हर्स. There can be multiple servers, but as of now, for our understanding, we'll take a single server. And at the end, we have a database. ठीक है, shortcut I'll write DB, database. So this client uses the web application through an application called as browser. Okay, browser can be any browser. Google Chrome is a browser. Mozilla Firefox is a browser. Microsoft Edge is a browser. So client can access the web application through any of these browsers. All right. Now, whatever he sees through the browser is what is the view of the application. Okay. The client will see view of the application. View in the sense the front end part. How the application looks, the look and feel of the application is the view. Okay. Now the view is created using few UI or UX tools. One is HTML, CSS, ठीक है, and to make the HTML and CSS work, we need one more, which is JavaScript. All right. So whatever the client sees through the browser is view of the application, and that view is created with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript mostly. All right. Is it clear as of now? What a client looks, I mean, what the client see? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So this view is created with these three things. All right, that's one part. Second part is the server. This server has the logic. The entire business logic is in the server. Now, what does logic means is whatever the client is doing on the view. Let us say the client clicks a button which has to do something with the server. Let us say we'll talk about Instagram. Instagram is a web application, right? So if someone likes a post, so have I mean what actually happens is something gets triggered in the server which will increase the count of likes on that particular post, right? If someone wants to comment on a post, what will happen is that particular message will go on to the server. It will be stored in some database, and that same thing is, I mean, and the same thing is viewed in the client side. ठीक है, so that logic is written in the server only. ठीक है, so the server provides something to the client which the client uses and do something. ठीक है, do, client can do anything, but he needs something to do it, and that something is API. Server provides API which needs to be integrated with the client side or the view part. ठीक है, that's it. So the API contains all the logic. And then we have database. Database is nothing but a place where we can store all the data. That's it. All right. So now where does React comes into a picture? React plays an important role here in the view part. Let's change the color. So this is the place where React comes into picture. React is the one who handles the UI. All right. And React combines HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into it, and then with the help of all these three things we can create the UI properly. ठीक आहे, क्लायंट मध्ये क्लायंट साइडला आपण रिॲक्ट यूज करतो. ठीक आहे, एवढं ठीक आहे, क्लिअर आहे. रिॲक्ट मध्ये आपण HTML, CSS, JavaScript हे यूज करणार आहोत. ऑल राईट, हे सगळं इंटिग्रेट करणार आहोत विथ द API और द सर्व्हर, सो दॅट आपण काही ऍक्शन परफॉर्म केली ऑन द क्लायंट साइड, it will create something or create a request which will go to the server to perform the task, and it will get a response in return. So let us say there is a post and I want to comment on it. तर मी काय करणार, कमेंट बॉक्सवर क्लिक करेल, तिथे मेसेज टाईप करेल वॉट एव्हर द कमेंट इज, अँड देन हिट सबमिट और ओके बटन वॉट एव्हर. त्याने काय होईल, त्याने एक रिक्वेस्ट जनरेट होईल टुवर्ड द सर्व्हर. ठीक आहे, त्याने एक रिक्वेस्ट जनरेट झाली टुवर्ड द सर्व्हर. व्हॉट इज दिस, दिस इज अ रिक्वेस्ट. आणि या रिक्वेस्ट मध्ये तो मेसेज असेल, कमेंट असेल. ठीक आहे, रिक्वेस्ट आहे सर्व्हरला, सर्व्हर काहीतरी बिझनेस लॉजिक अप्लाय करेल. ठीक आहे, काहीतरी लॉजिक अप्लाय करेल, और एल्स इट विल व्हॅलिडेट एव्हरीथिंग. व्हॅलिडेट करेल की तो मेसेज प्रॉपर आहे का, त्यात काही फिल्टर करायची गरज आहे का. ठीक आहे, आफ्टर ऑल दोज लॉजिक्स अँड ऑल, it will store that data into database. So the same request is forwarded to the database. ठीक है, and then once that message is stored in the database, once that comment is stored in the database, it will get some response back from the database key something is inserted or that post is updated, anything. So it will get a response back from the database. Again, this server will perform logic on that response which he got from the database first. Okay, and after performing all the logic, after watching, after getting that the response back from the server is right enough that it can be showed to the client, it will also generate a response with proper message or with proper data. Okay, so this is the flow. Client generates request to the server, server generates request to the database, database then gets back with the response to the server, and the server gets back response to the client. Okay, so this is your entire flow. की कसा database, sorry, एक रिक्वेस्ट क्लायंट पासून डेटाबेस आणि डेटाबेस पासून क्लायंट पर्यंत येते. हे समजलं? दिस इज अन हाय लेवल आर्किटेक्चर ऑफ एनी वेब ऍप्लिकेशन. येस और नो? So for this example, we have Instagram as our web application. So what client can do is client can register to the Instagram. Registering means it will send some data from client side to the server, from the server to the database. It will be stored, and that user is now a user of Instagram. One thing that is user can register itself. Second thing is after registering, user can create, I mean user can edit his or her profile. Alright. For editing the profile, user needs to add some more data to his or her profile. Like the user can upload a photo, profile photo. User can edit the bio. User can edit the username, I guess. I'm not sure. That's it. User can edit, I guess, the date of birth and all the basic information like gender and all. That is one thing. And next, once the profile is set, now the user can post something on the database servers. Like it can upload a photo or can upload a video in the format of reel or maybe some IGTV. Before it used to come like IGTV where user could upload long videos like YouTube, Instagram TV. Alright. So user can upload posts or reel. User can also see some other person's post or reel if it is public. Right. User can tap, if it is mobile, user can tap on the photo to make it bigger. See, there is a 3 by 3 grid, I mean 3 columns and a lot of rows in Instagram if you see in the mobile view. Okay, so you can click a photo, you can see it properly. You can tap and hold the photo to see it, see just that, I mean to just focus on that particular photo. Can see the reels, can swipe up to change the reel, and so on. So all these things the client or the user is doing on the view part. That is our React part, and that is what we have to worry about. Okay, whatever the user is doing, whatever the user is triggering the event, we have to manage it properly. All right. So that is one part, and that is what we have to see in the future. Other thing, the server, the database, we don't have to worry about at least now. We will get the API from someone else. We will just have to integrate it with our React application and it should work fine. Whatever the data required for the API, we have to pass. If you are not passing the proper data, it might get failed, right? So we just have to worry about the integration and our UI part. That's it. And whatever the events we are triggering. All right. Is it okay? Did you get that? What we have to do and what we have to ignore? See, the green part is ours. Where is the this green part is ours. Everything else we don't have to worry about. All right. So React is nothing but a library. Okay, I have to change my screen to, I guess, not bad. Create a new one. So the first question about React is what is React? So React is an open source library for building user interfaces. What React is? It is an open source library for building UI or user interface. Okay. What is React? React is an open source library for building UI. And one more thing, we have two things here. One is the open source and one is the library. Open source is something which is open to all for sharing and modification. Okay. Now what does that mean? Is you can look into the source code of React. It is publicly open for everyone. You can go to GitHub, you can go to React's page, and you can see all the source code. If you see some bug, you can fix that bug, you can fix the issue, and you can tell the manager that this was the bug and I have solved it. They can put your code in their original React code, source code. Okay, that is also possible. So open source means the source code is open, or the source code is available for watching, sharing, and modification. You can see the code, entire code base. You can modify it. You can share it with something, someone else. Okay, that is one thing. Open source. Second thing is library. Now, one more thing. So what React is? React is a library, not a framework. So there is a difference between. Have you heard this word before? Framework? Yes or no? Have you heard this word? Framework? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. At least you have heard. See, there is a small difference between, not a small, there is a huge difference between library and framework. Just say, let us say you are building your own house. Okay. So you have two approaches. One is you can build the house by your own, right from the scratch. From the scratch means you need to design it. You need to dig all the holes for the framework. I'm not the framework, the foundation. And then above the foundation, you need to create your own house. That is one thing. Other thing is you can hire someone like the contractor. You can tell him that this is the design. I need to build my house, but I need a proper foundation which the contractor will create. Okay. So what contractor is? Contractor is a skilled person. One thing, he has the experience, right? You are not the one who creates houses daily, right? You don't have any experience. You might have, but not as good as the contractor. Okay. Second thing is you have to do everything by your own, which can lead to errors, right? You might dig a hole, maybe quite bigger, maybe quite smaller. Maybe you can miss this place. It could have been some foots aside, right? It can be anything. So you can create errors, you can create bug in the foundation itself. And if the foundation is not good, the building can crash in upcoming years, right? So if you are building something on your own, you need to put more efforts to make it bug free so that whatever building you are building on it is stable. So if you are building your own house, that is similar to library. You are building your own application from scratch, from nothing. Okay, from the very basic, from the very beginning. If you are building from scratch, that is library. Library doesn't provide you anything out of the box. You have to combine a lot of libraries to create your own foundation. Part 1. What is framework? Framework is the contractor. Means framework is something which gives you the foundation by itself, ready made. And what is the advantage of using a framework is the foundation which you are getting is bug free. It is stable, it is strong. right? And you get a lot of things with the framework which you don't get with the library. All right. So you are getting a good foundation in the very beginning, and the framework is already created by very skilled people, so there are no chances of bug, at least in the starting. Okay, so the building which you are creating on it, which you are building on it, is quite stable. All right, is it okay? At least what library and framework is, the difference between these two. Framework provides you the foundation, library doesn't. Frameworks are quite bug free. The library can be, I mean, not the library, you can create the bugs. Okay, might create the bugs. Third thing is, framework provides you a lot of thing out of the box, which you might not get with the library. You need to use more than one library to at least create your foundation. Is it clear? Yes or no? Come on fast. I don't have time. Okay, fine. I don't care. See, with the library, you have flexibility. You can modify the code as you want. With the framework, you cannot modify the code a lot. There is a restriction in using a framework. Since it is already developed foundation, your building is restricted within a design. With library, you can modify it as you want. This is the major difference, and this is why React is and React was, and currently and maybe in future React will be very very famous. The community of React is very high, very big as compared to some other frameworks like Angular. All right. So the power of flexibility is what wanted by the developers or by the companies. They want to create. And one more thing, with library, the development is fast, very fast as compared to some other frameworks like Angular. The learning curve for new developers, learning curve means if you are learning React and your friend is learning Angular, you will not get that much pain in learning React. थोडा कमी त्रास होतो. ठीक आहे. अँग्युलर मध्ये खूप साऱ्या गोष्टी अशा आहेत त्या तुम्हाला त्रास देऊ शकतात मे बी इफ यू आर नॉट गुड इनफ विथ युअर बेसिक्स. ओके, I hope that is clear. Give me 1 second. All right, back to the React. So React is an open source library for building UI. So it's not a framework. Now you get the difference of what library is and what framework is. Okay. And React only focuses on the UI. Okay. React does not. Okay, my laptop is going to die.